8:30 in the morning, a lot warmer than it was last time we had a Running with the Herd. It's not 39 degrees in McAlester, and that's saying a lot. Monday, February 24th, as we have the first game of the baseball season coming up this Saturday. It's now time to hit the diamond with head coach Justin Mullins of McAlester Baseball. This episode of Running with the Herd brought to you by Reagan Auto and What About Bob's Restaurant. And Coach, how are you doing so far?
Doing great, man. First thing I want to say is thank you guys. We're blessed to have you guys, and what y'all do for us is unbelievable, not just in baseball, but throughout our whole athletic program. You guys are second to none. I mean, it's I can't thank you guys enough for what y'all do for the kids and our athletic program. So appreciate you guys so much.
That means the world to us, I can tell you that. I mean, we say it often, that means the world to us, but it really does. So,
and it's from the heart, I'm telling you. I've been here for a long time, and I'm telling you, it's where you guys are second to none. And more coaches brag about you guys than they do about our team sometimes. So, that's okay. We like that. And so, but we definitely appreciate you guys and what you do for us and the kids and everybody in our athletic program from, since y'all started. So it's been awesome. Thank you guys.
I appreciate it, Coach. Thank you. I know that we are starting the baseball season, and what I really love most about the baseball season, not really, it's a joke before I say this, but I get to wear a hat. It's part of my daily, attire now, and I'm glad that I get to do that.
Yeah, that's good.
Let's jump right into it. Looking at last year compared to this year, just a couple of games away from the state tournament, but you had a pretty big senior class graduate from that year. However, you bring back some key players. We're going to be speaking with them a little bit later. Plus, you made some additions via transfer, and also some talented freshmen have joined the team. So what are your initial thoughts on your team 6 days away from the opening season?
I think the kids have been working hard. We're blessed to have great kids. Not only are they working hard in the weight room in the morning, every morning at 7:30, they work hard at practice. I've been pleasantly surprised. We're very inexperienced. We got some good players. We got some key places to fill. That's why we scrimmage. So we've been able to get a couple scrimmages in. We're going to get a bunch in this week to kind of learn what we have. Like we know what we have, but then you kind of see it, against other competition. It was hard. We had 95% of our innings walk out and graduate last year, so we're looking for, we got one guy coming back that logged a lot of innings for us with Max Harmon, but we're looking for other guys to fill the role. We got some good young guys. We got guys that we feel like that can do that. We just got to get them in front of people. We just got to get them out there and see what they can do in live action. And then we don't have a lot of at-bats coming back. Spencer and Gunnar have started since they were sophomores. They're going to be key cogs of what we're going to do. Jackson Morgan had some at-bats for us last year, and Jordan Clark. With the exception of those guys, the rest of them have 0 varsity at-bats. So, it's been good. It's been good. We've got a lot of work in. I feel pretty confident in what we have. We're going to go through some growing pains. There's going to be some ups and downs. Just having some inexperience, doing some inexperienced things, but pretty promising, pretty exciting with what we have, and young guys that are coming and that we feel like can fill some voids too. So it's been a good preseason for us so far. I'll say that.
I gotcha. So you're talking about the off season and the scrimmages. I mean, you're about to have a busy week, and we were just mentioning before we went up and started off this broadcast here. You're about to have 7 scrimmages / games in 9 days. So up to this point, a couple of scrimmages. What have you seen from your team? What have you liked? What do you think you need to work on?
I think that we've been. I kind of like how we swung the bat a little bit. We've been really aggressive. We've been preaching to them, being aggressive, trying not to miss fastballs and fastball counts. Been really pleased with that. On the mound, we've done some good things. Number one thing is no walks. I mean, that's what we preached. Throw strikes, pound the zone.
Mm-hmm.
We don't want any freebies, and that's kind of what we judge the game on. Sometimes the freebie war, which walks, errors, hit by pitches, things that you're giving them that they're not earning, they show a lot, and that pretty much dictates our score. I mean, I hate to say it, but it does. And we've got to be better on the mound. We've had some guys that done some good jobs, but we've had some other guys that we struggled a little bit. And it's the first time they've been on the mound. A couple of guys that are young, and they were as nervous as all get out. And I said, it's baseball. Just go play, throw the ball. We've been pretty solid defensively, so I feel like if we throw strikes and we're competing in the zone, we'll be pretty good defensively. So we preach that. But been pleased the way we've swung the bats. That's the thing that we really tried to preach. Last couple of years, I felt like our strikeout total was a little too much. We struck out too much. So Coach Homer has put a big emphasis on we're trying to do whatever we can to get balls in play. And we've done a good job of that. I feel like the first couple of scrimmages. So.
Okay, and now you mentioned all these bats and arms that you have returning, but you also have some key holes that you need to be able to fill in from the inexperience that you mentioned. From some of the guys that haven't played yet, maybe the freshmen or some of the key transfers, who are some players that have stuck out to you so far?
Denver Durant, he's moved in here from Red Oak. He's a sophomore kid that moved here, and he's got a lot of upside. He's played really well for us. He's probably going to pencil in as our shortstop right now. He'll be batting the middle of our order. He's done a really, really good job for what we're looking for. In the outfield, we got 4 guys we're shuffling around to see what we got. We obviously got Jordan Clark coming back, Wilson Alford, Gavin Brumley, and Blake Judkins is another sophomore that we feel pretty good about. But those 4 guys, we're going to need 4 because they all pitch.
Right.
So we feel pretty good about those guys and what they can do, and it's going to be a battle every day. They're going to compete every day. And Lucas Johns is a guy on the mound, left-handed kid that's a sophomore that has done some impressive stuff through our inter squads in our first scrimmage. So we feel like he could be a really good guy for us on the mound. So and we've got some good young kids. We've got some good freshman kids that we feel like are going to push the older kids, and you never know what can happen.
Right.
We're going to everybody. The good thing about it is competition breeds the best out of everybody.
Yep.
And I think it makes people work harder. And we haven't really, had a ton of that in the past couple of years. And this year, there's been a lot of competition going on. So it's been good. It's been really good. So
a lot of times you're looking at scrimmages just to get tuned up. And this year for scrimmages, it's been one, competition to see who's still going to get those spots,
Absolutely.
and 2, what does your rotations look like when you have a certain person on the mound? So there's still a
Absolutely.
lot to look at.
Absolutely.
That's why you have to have 4 scrimmages this week.
And that's what I said and so, and I've talked to our coaches, and, there's going to be some growing pains. We're going to, fighting through with a lot of inexperience. It takes time to build the chemistry, to know what we have. That's why I like districts, but I'm not a big fan of, and we open up right out of the gate a district game, and
a rivalry district game too.
and it's tough, and you really in years past we have a good idea what we have. This year, there's a lot of openings. I mean, there's a lot of spots that we're unsure of, and
of course it's totally different when wins and losses start to count. Than
exactly.
Scrimmages,
That's what I mean and so it's tough to first right out of the back. You're playing a district game,
right?
And so, and that's something that could affect you down in April that. And you could look completely different in April than you did at the 1st of March. So it is that. It's tough to do that. But I feel pretty confident. I feel good with the guys that we have. And, they've been, like I said, can't say enough of how hard they've been working. We've got great kids, coachable, do everything that we ask. So it's going to be interesting.
Now, district season is going to be looking a little bit different than it has been in years past. It looks like we're going to veer a little bit east of the Tulsa Metro a little bit more this year. I think we have Pryor and Claremore that have joined our district. What do you feel about the new district and the upcoming season schedule as a whole?
I think that, the new district, obviously we got the tougher end of it, which that's fine. I mean, it is what it is. But when we did the redistricting, all coaches ranked teams, went straight by the numbers, and that's how it worked out. I know that Tahlequah obviously is going to be still pretty good. I mean, they graduated a couple, but they still have, one of their district arms coming back, and they got some good guys that still in the order that they have coming back. Pryor is going to be solid. They're probably not going to wow you with anybody, but they're just well coached, and they're going to be tough. And Claremore, Coach Gellner at Claremore does a great job. They're going to be really good. They got some transfer guys, and so. Which have boosted them and made them a lot better. And then of course Durant, they're young the last 2 years, and they've started all freshmen, sophomores last year, and they were highly competitive last year, and so they're going to be only better. And then you throw Booker T in there, which is always competitive year in and year out, and then we end with Rogers. So it's going to be a highly competitive district. I mean, I feel that there's. it's hard to predict who can finish anywhere 1 through 5, 6. I mean, it's going to be very, very competitive. So it is a tough district, and so, and the whole thing of redistricting, everybody's asking me, well, we only played in the other district 1 year. Well, the whole private school rule with Bishop Kelly coming back down. So we had to redistrict that, and with them coming back to 5A on the east side. So that's why everything went with the redistrict.
Yeah, the football schedule changed just like two months out.
So that kind of screwed everything up, but it's comparable to what we had last year. You know what I mean? I feel like so.
It wasn't no cakewalk last year.
Yeah, because you lose Sapulpa, and Sapulpa's, they've been right there 1-2 in our district ever since we've had them in 5A, and of course they jumped to 6A now that Bishop Kelly comes back down. So. So it's very comparable to what we have, I feel like, to what we've had in the past. So we're going to have to play well, there's no doubt.
I feel like what also helps you out with your district schedule and it being a tough district schedule is your non-district schedule. And I think that when you started off with a team like Bixby, and you go to 6A, but then you also have some teams scattered throughout that have also made a lot of big noise. I mean, even if you're looking at some of the smaller schools, those are the teams that are in the state tournament.
Yeah.
Looking at Worcester and teams like that as well.
Worcester, Silo, Wright City. Silo and Wright City won state championships in the fall, so it doesn't get easy with those guys.
Yes, but I mean, do you think that, especially with a team that needs a little bit more experience, that really does prepare you well for the district season?
Absolutely, and that's what we try to do. I mean, that's the key is, I'm not a coach that's trying to get my win total. I'm not looking for, I got to get my 20 wins every year, because you could schedule 20 wins every year. There's no doubt, but. And it's about being battle tested and being ready to go when we need you. And you got to be put against good teams to play good, I think, to see where you're at. So we do try to ramp up the schedule a little bit. Somebody, sometimes they look at me like, "God, you're an idiot. Who scheduled this?" So, but it is what it is. So, but I think it makes us better down towards the end for sure.
And our last question before we send it over to your players here: what are you most looking forward to seeing in the upcoming season?
Just being around the kids, and just enjoying them. The senior group is the first group that I'll have for 4 years that I've had since, I've been here as the head coach. Just looking forward to them competing, getting after it, and it's like I tell them, every day, I want to see what you do when you fail. I want to see, how do you react? Because baseball is, it's a failure sport. So it's a tough sport, and, we want to build tough, gritty kids that know how to handle failure. And so, but, I'm looking forward to us just going out and competing and doing, the best that we can to our capabilities. And, my goal is we're going to be in every ball game having a chance to win there at the end when we need to. So that's what I'm looking forward to. So.
All right, Coach. That's going to be it for now. We're going to send it to your players here in just a moment. We have Running with the Herd. Are you nervous? A little bit nervous? No, these guys are going to be okay.
They're going to be good.
All right. Yeah. Now, Max might be some fun.
Max might be some fun. You're right. Yeah, he might be some fun.
It's Running with the Herd, brought to you by Reagan Auto and What About Bob's Restaurant. We'll be back in 60 seconds.
Reagan Auto is a Reader's Choice Award-winning automotive repair shop. We are currently searching for an automotive technician to join our team. We're looking for someone who is energized and ready to provide quality service to our customers. Our ideal candidate will have technician experience of at least 1 year. If you're interested in this opportunity to work in a fast-paced atmosphere, email your resume to reaganauto.ok@gmail.com. What About Bob's Restaurant, the home of Bob's Sunrise Surprise, is located at 610 North Main in McAlester. What About Bob serves up your favorite comfort food 7 days a week from 7 a.m. to 2 p.m. Go down and see Olivia and the gang for breakfast and lunch. What About Bob's Restaurant, open 7 days a week from 7 a.m. to 2 p.m. Check them out on their Facebook page, What About Bob's, 610 North Main in McAlester.
We're in the morning from the KNED studios on Electric Avenue in McAlester, Oklahoma. This is Brandon Green alongside, again, the McAlester baseball team. We've got some players here with us today. Again, this episode brought to you by Reagan Auto and What About Bob's Restaurant. First game of the season is on Saturday at Bixby at 1 o'clock. Hopefully, I think there's nothing stopping us from being able to put that here on the station on KNED. So we're going to get ready for that season. But we're going to start off with an icebreaker with our players here. Spring training games have begun for Major League Baseball. Again, this is just an easy question to kind of get yourself into it. Which MLB team is your favorite, and do you remember how you became a fan?
Probably, obviously the New York Yankees are my team.
You just gained a friend right there.
You just gained a friend, thank you.
Diehard Yankee fan.
Thank you, sir.
My dad's been a Yankee fan his whole life, so I just kind of hopped on.
Those are the
Yeah.
games that were on like cable TV the most when my dad was growing up. So he was a fan of Reggie Jackson, the 3 home runs, 3 pitches, and then Aaron Boone in 2003. That was kind of like my intro to baseball, and that's when I became a lifelong fan. Been a baseball fan ever since. Spencer.
I'd probably say the Texas Rangers.
Okay, that's a good one.
It's close.
It's close. Yeah,
They're
it's
close.
right
You
there.
can go to all the
Spence don't watch
games.
that much baseball.
What's that?
Spence don't watch that much baseball.
Yeah,
He doesn't watch much baseball.
Max.
Yeah.
Texas Rangers. My dad took me to a game when I was real little, and I seen Josh Hamilton hit 2 home runs.
Yeah, Jackson.
I've probably been a Blue Jays fan. You know,
Why a Blue Jays fan?
I just like watching them play.
He's a Blue Jays
There's nothing
Yeah,
wrong with
okay.
that. There's nothing wrong with
Do you know all the words to "O Canada"?
No, absolutely not.
By the way, we didn't mention we have Spencer Stinchcomb, Max Harmon, Gunnar Hodgel, and Jackson Morgan with us today. So those are the baseball players we have with us. Do you remember your start in baseball? All those years back when you started getting into baseball, what made you get into it?
Just my dad.
Mm-hmm.
My dad wanted me to play, and I played when I was little, and then fell in love with the game. And played it ever since.
Gotcha.
That's probably just for me too. My parents played when they were growing up, and then they just kind of tossed it off to me, and I just fell in love with the game, like Spencer said, and been playing ever since. So. Yeah, I started with a game of catch with my dad.
I had a best friend who was a big baseball player when he was younger, and I wanted to be like him. So I started playing when I was like 4.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
Cool stories here. What has been your favorite favorite memory as as members of McAlester baseball so far? I butchered that question. Favorite memory. Let's just keep it to that.
Probably winning regionals freshman year. That was pretty
It's a pretty
exciting.
big one.
Yeah, that was pretty exciting.
Well, you guys did something that, as freshmen, you're a part of a team that hadn't happened in 10 years.
Yeah.
Like the last time it happened, I was a sophomore. And I'm about to turn 29. So it was a little while ago. So that was a pretty special moment. It was pretty cool to call it as well. What about for any of you guys?
I liked the Broken Bow trip sophomore year. It was
Yeah.
a lot of fun.
What about it?
I don't know, we just had a good time. We got on the karaoke machine.
So what was your favorite karaoke performance from the night?
Oh, I'd have to say me and Spence singing Party in the USA.
Oh, yeah? Can we do a rendition of it now?
Not right now.
Spencer?
What was the question again?
Favorite moment as a member of McAlester baseball?
The Arizona trip was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Got to go far away with the boys, and I'd say that's pretty cool. It's a cool memory.
I'd probably say the winning regionals as a freshman, that was just a cool experience to be a part of, and hopefully we can do it again this year. But
All good memories, trying to make a better one here for 2025. So season begins on Saturday. What has the anticipation been like? How ready are y'all for the new season?
Ready to go.
Very ready.
Yeah.
Very
ready to win.
Ready to get it kicked off.
Absolutely. You guys got some scrimmages coming up this week. What are some goals that you have personally or team-wise, you guys can do both, that you have for the upcoming season?
Just to enjoy the game again, just have fun with it. Not put too much pressure on anybody on the team or myself, and just have fun with it again.
Just be better than yesterday.
Every single day, you're not. I was talking to Coach Hughes. It's either you're getting worse or you're getting better every day. You're never staying the same. So just trying to get better than you were the day before.
That's right.
Give our team a chance to win every time I step on the mound.
Yeah. Do you have any in the bullpen things you want to do?
Rituals?
Mr. P.O.
Yeah, I don't know. Every time before every inning, I'll lean down and do a little swan dive deal. I don't know.
Swan dive. I'm
Get the legs loose.
I want to be looking out for that now. Jackson.
Just try not to strike out. You know. Try to hit the ball.
That's the worst
Yeah.
mentality though that you can have. You don't think, hey, let's not strike out.
Well, I try to think about hitting the ball. I don't try to think about striking out.
That's my goal for you this year. Is I'm wanting you to get a home run. Okay?
Okay.
Every time that I'm coming up, I'm like, he's gonna do it.
It's the south wind blowing in.
Yeah.
And our last one here, it's always a fun one. Say there was a rain delay, and I'm excited to hear Max's question here. Say there was a rain delay in an exhibition game. Again, exhibition, this is not district. Of course, in district, you're trying to stay locked in. What would be the most fun way to pass the time in a rain delay?
I don't know if we could say it, but make a freshman play a little game.
Oh,
Yeah. We had to do it.
Yeah.
All together?
It's always fun to get old baseball and play like tic-tac-toe with the other team.
That's what I was thinking a
Toss
little
it
bit.
dugout to dugout. We always like to do that whenever we get in rain delays. Like we did it regionals last year with Collinsville. We
Just the tic-tac-toe.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, you guys had like 3 different rain delays. And there wasn't hardly any rain at first. It was just the lightning around the area. But it was still a pretty cool view.
Yeah.
You had the, I guess, like the cows and like the
Right.
farm in the background. It seemed like we were just out in the middle of nowhere waiting for these games to start. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for dropping by. Good luck this season. I'm going to be with you all every step of the way. I hope you get used to this. So you're going to be seeing it a lot more. This hat's going to get a lot dirty by the end of the year, too.
I like it.
All right, so those were Buffalo players against Spencer Stinchcomb, Max Harmon, Gunnar Hodgel, and Jackson Morgan with us today for a Running with the Herd edition of McAlester Baseball. We're going to have Coach Mullins with one final segment coming up. Running with the Herd brought to you by Reagan Auto and What About Bob's Restaurant. We'll be back in 60 seconds after we hear from them.
Reagan Auto is a Reader's Choice Award winning automotive repair shop. We are currently searching for an automotive technician to join our team. We're looking for someone who is energized and ready to provide quality service to our customers. Our ideal candidate will have technician experience of at least 1 year. If you're interested in this opportunity to work in a fast-paced atmosphere, email your resume to reaganauto.ok@gmail.com. What About Bob's Restaurant, the home of Bob's Sunrise Surprise, is located at 610 North Main in McAlester. What About Bob serves up your favorite comfort food 7 days a week from 7 a.m. to 2 p.m. Go down and see Olivia and the gang for breakfast and lunch. What About Bob's Restaurant, open 7 days a week from 7 a.m. to 2 p.m. Check them out on their Facebook page, What About Bob's, 610 North Main in McAlester.
8:52 in the morning as we're beginning to wrap up our, I think, 21st or 22nd edition of Running with the Herd for the 2024-2025 school year. We have head coach of the McAlester baseball team, Justin Mullins, as this is brought to you by Reagan Auto and What About Bob's Restaurant. So, Coach, we heard it, or we asked your players. Now we're going to ask you, what was your start in baseball?
Just thinking back when I was younger, just started playing and just fell in love with the game. My grandpa, he was an avid baseball guy, and I remember going out there, and I'm a Cubs fan because we watched WGN during the day, and we watched the day games because it didn't have lights.
For whatever reason, it was in McAlester. You could get that channel in McAlester.
And so I became a Cubs fan, and my grandpa was an avid Yankee fan. He loved the Yankees, but we always watched baseball. And ever since I was little, we would watch baseball, and then just kind of fell in love with it and started playing. And it's the greatest game. I mean, it's hard to replicate it. I mean, the failure in baseball it's different than any other sport. I played other sports, and it's just football. The great thing about football is Friday Night Lights. I mean, you just everything leading up to that kind of sucks sometimes, but you just can't replicate Friday nights. And baseball is just different. It's just America's pastime. I mean, how can you not fall in love with baseball if you're a baseball fanatic? And I just was like that at a young age, and I probably attribute a lot of that to my grandpa. I mean, he was a huge baseball guy growing up, and he was fortunate enough that he got to watch me. He got to watch me when I went to college. He would drive down and watch me at Southeastern, and had a lot of good memories with that. So it was, it's kind of a good thing. So it's kind of how it got going. So
what a lot of your players may not know is that you're a pretty good player. Coach Matheny kind of bragged on you down at Southeastern. I got to talk to him.
I was okay. I was, I'll be honest with you. I was a hard worker. I became a good player because of just hard work. When I started playing in high school, after my freshman year, I was a sophomore. I was fortunate enough to get to play as a sophomore, and I wanted to be the best. And I'll tell you every day, and I tell my own kids and anybody else, if you want to be a good hitter, you can be a good hitter. You just got to go put in the work. And I did a thing, and ever since I was a sophomore in high school, I would go and take 300 cuts after practice every day.
Oh, wow. And
I made that a ritual, and I did that, even continued to do that once I was in college. And, I wasn't the most athletic. I wasn't, but I think I worked hard enough to make myself a decent player. So, I had good coaches, Coach Hughes, Coach Harmon, Coach Homer, even Coach Edwards was around whenever, I was there. And, was fortunate enough and blessed enough to have those guys in my life that, you know, they're the guys that wanted me, you know, why I wanted to get into coaching. And this going into my 25th, 26th year. So I even got to, not many people know, but I got to coach BG there. So
Yeah.
and he wasn't a bad player himself either. So I mean, he was a good little player for us. So did some good things. So, but it's been a blessing. You know, I've been blessed to be here my whole career. Been on the football side, the baseball side. Never thought that I would be a head coach. Really enjoyed being an assistant. Because as an assistant, that's when you really get to coach. As a head coach, you don't get to coach as much because there's other things you got to take care of. There's lots of other, you know, things that you don't realize. And that's what I tell these young guys. You'll always want to do it, but I said if you want to coach, be an assistant. You know, because the head coach, there's so many other duties. And with that being said, I couldn't do what I do without the staff that I have. You know, they're unbelievable. They do all the coaching. I just sat back and get to watch them. Trent Homer, he does our hitting. Troy Meadows does our pitching. Jeremy Busby, he does our outfield and helps with the pitching. And then Tyler Capps does our JV and helps with the outfield too. So, you know, and the good thing about it is all those guys are Buffaloes. They played here. So, I mean, and it means something to them. And so, you know, but blessed to have them. Couldn't do what I do without them for sure. For 100%. So.
Coach, you mentioned coaching me. That's the reason why I look forward to the alumni game this year, and why when Coach Singleton said, "Hey, you guys want to play dodgeball that one time?" I said, "Yes," because these guys need to know I'm athletic too.
I'm athletic
There's
too.
an athlete somewhere in this broadcaster's body.
You know, and I don't look near like an athlete.
No, I don't either.
Some of them will say, well, "You played in college," and like, yeah, I didn't look like this all the time.
Yeah, there was a time where we could play.
Yes, exactly.
So you mentioned a lot of great baseball memories. You know, you're talking about you and your grandpa, and then you know all the years that you've been playing. What is your favorite baseball memory of all time, if you had to pinpoint it to a moment?
I would say probably coaching my kids. Probably the being able to go to state tournament. You know, try not to get emotional.
Oh no, yeah.
But my oldest, get to coach him, and then them both being on the team, and winning regional championship, going back to state, and you know, I mean, you know, put a lot of time in with those guys, and those kids, and no, I'm sorry.
No, you're okay, man. I just moved out a few years ago. I couldn't imagine. That's an incredible.
It's the greatest thing, and you know, getting to coach them is probably the biggest, you know, enjoyment that I've had.
Gage just had a birthday, I heard too. So they're all going to do big things.
He's had a birthday, and he's playing in University of Arkansas Rich Mountain, and doing well. And then Gannon, he's playing in Rose, and you know, fortunate enough to get to coach those guys. That's what it's about, you know. And you know, there's nothing that can beat that. Getting to coach your kids and to do something special like that with both of them, you know. It doesn't get any more special than that.
Well, that Mother's Day in Grove is always going to be pretty cool to remember.
Yeah. No, it'll definitely be a memory that'll go down forever. I'll tell you that. So,
absolutely.
And I've had some great memories as a player. You know, I've been fortunate enough to be on some really good teams. You know, when I was a senior, we had regionals here, and we lose the first game. Actually, it was kind of crazy because Coach Bond was. And he's a good player. I mean, a lot of people don't realize, but
we were all athletes.
It was Coach Bond and Kerry Ammons from Durant. Kerry Ammons, I played with him in Southeastern. He was the NIA Player of the Year. Great player, but those two go compete against each other the first round of regionals, and we get beat 1-0. And the one run was Kerry Ammons hits a home run off Coach Bond.
Oh wow!
But we battled back, and we ended up run rolling the next day, and we ended up sweeping Ada on our field, you know, that year, and it was pretty special. And then we go to the state tournament, do the same thing, lose the first game, and then battle back and beat Guthrie twice to go to the state finals, and just didn't have enough to get it done that year. You know, and it's kind of crazy because my senior year we finished runner-up. They win state next year, and then I go to Southeastern, and My
No.
senior year is in '99, and
Uh-huh.
then I graduate, and the next year they win the national championship. And
Jeez,
so
I knew where that was going.
that was kind of, but I was, obviously happy for Coach Matheny.
Right.
He's put in a lot of time down there, and blessed to be able to play under a legend like him. So it was definitely a blessing to be with him and be around him. So still see him. So and he's still kicking around, and
Well, he's, obviously Hall of Fame coach. The
Oh,
field over there is named
obviously.
after him. And I was
Obviously.
supposed to have a 5-minute conversation with him when I went to Southeastern for 2 years for part of the broadcasting team over there. And it turned into a 45-minute conversation.
he can talk. He can talk.
He can talk.
And, he can. He is, and he's a legend. Like I said, is. And I've never been around a guy that is such a great manager of the game. Like, golly, he's such a good, learned a lot about just the ins and outs of coaching, just managing the game with him. It's crazy. He was really good at that. He could take players, and I'm not saying he, which in the college level you don't do it a lot, but he's not a guy that's going to teach you how to hit a ball or teach you how to field the ball. But you talk about managing a game, and not to say that Coach Cummey was another one that I was able to coach under that was phenomenal. Guy knows the game better than anybody. I'm going to tell you, he was a really, really good coach. He knew you. If I have a question about a rule, I can call him, and he knows it just like that. I'm telling you, he was a great one to be under. So for sure.
Now, a couple quick hitters real quick, and then we're going to wrap things up here. We just left temperatures around 0 last week.
Yeah.
So which would you rather have? Would you rather have the sub-freezing temperatures or above 100-degree heat?
Boy, that's a tough one. I'm a sunny and 70 guy. I'm
Yeah.
kind of a big guy, so.
Well, you get the lucky part in the spring. You just have to battle naders and rain.
Both of them are not very fun, miserable.
No.
But I'd probably say I like the summers better
Yeah.
than I would the freezing cold. So.
Play, actually,
Yes.
in the summer.
Yes.
And last one, what is your favorite ballpark food?
Probably nachos, if I was going to say. I'm not a hot dog guy. I will eat a hot dog, but I've never been a hot dog guy. I think when I was younger, I was a big hot dog bologna guy, and I'm not a big fan of it now. Maybe I ate too much of it when I was younger, but I'd probably say nachos. I
Yeah.
would probably say nachos and popcorn, probably.
That was me mostly with ramen noodles.
Oh, yeah.
Coach, when I went from my playing days over to just being a student over at Eastern,
Mm-hmm.
I went from, man, I could eat whatever I wanted to, and I could never gain weight. And then I went over to Eastern, and I said, maybe I can't eat 3 oatmeal cream pies. Maybe I can't eat 2 packages of ramen noodle every night. And I got sick one night. I was like, this is the worst lifestyle to live.
Hey, it's definitely an adjustment when you get done playing, because you're used to being able to eat what you want.
Right.
And, when you get done playing, it doesn't quite work that way.
That's right,
so
Coach.
There's no doubt about it. So for sure.
All right. Anything else you'd like to add before we wrap it up? here?
Just like to thank my wife. Without her, obviously, none of it's possible. So she's kind of the rock. She lets me coach. She raised 3 boys with me coaching on the road all the time. So she's the real MVP, not me. So for sure.
Well, that's a great one to end it up on. Coach, thank you so much.
Appreciate you guys.
Safe travels this week. I know you guys
Absolutely.
are going to be on the road a lot, and then I'll see you on Saturday when you head to Bixby.
Thank you, buddy.
Thank you so much.
Appreciate you guys. Thank
This
you.
was head coach Justin Mullins of the McAlester
Appreciate
baseball
you,
team.
man.
Again, this episode of Running with the Herd brought to you by Reagan Auto and What About Bob's Restaurant. We're going to send it to our outro here, and we'll get you back to your regularly scheduled programming here on KNED.